My name is Thomas Weber. I am a person who has discovered the benefit of art at a late stage in my life. I'm a person who spends his day welding, but in the evening I get a lot out of pursuing taking beautiful pictures. I was a creative child and then found as an adult, I floundered a lot looking for a purpose. Finally landed among a bunch of people within the last 5 years who were all artists, and they encouraged me to pursue my creative impulses. Art is therapy. All art starts as therapy for the artist. And I think it's important to reframe art not as something that's exclusive to people who can afford to be in the game, but rather something that's accessible to everybody at every level. It tends to not be valued in schools, for example. We have an art desert here. And then we also have a country that suffers from a mental health crisis. Perhaps if we were to put more of a priority on art, people could get the benefit of it and heal whatever traumas it is they're suffering without the cost of medicine and therapy. Now, the wonderful thing about technology is that it can be a great equalizer for access to making art. Pretty much everybody these days has got a phone. Now, there are two different camps. Some would say, well, you're not a photographer if you're using a phone. And that's, that's a good, decent argument to be made. But you can still be an artist. And for me, art is about finding, in this particular sense with what I do, beautiful compositions. You're not always going to have a DSLR with you, for example, when you stumble across the thing that you need to take a picture of. You're compelled to. You will always have your phone with you. Take advantage of technology. Take advantage of the apps that are available to you on the phone to make the vision you have in your head materialize so other people can appreciate it. Don't try to make art for anybody's particular aesthetic. Find your own. And what is wonderful about that is if you pursue something like that with integrity, the beauty happens when it connects with another human soul, and they see it oftentimes connecting over things that we hide from each other. The things that we hide from each other are the things that we have in common. And we can express that through art, easily. Everybody at every level. You've got to have a subject, and it's important, if you want to be consistent, to have a subject you're interested in, something that you're compelled to return to. And for me, it was my hometown of Americus, Georgia. I came here every summer in my youth, and then moved here as an adult. I've always felt like my town was special, following the legacy of those like Millard Fuller, those who started Habitat for Humanity. I remember days, everybody hanging out on porches here, all kinds of folks from all over the world. I'd really like to see it get back to that. That's why I'm in service to my community, because I remember how it was, and I remember how it can be. I grew up as a military brat, so I didn't have a lot of stability in my life as far as something that was a consistent thread to the narrative of my story. The only exception to that rule was the town of Americus, Georgia. By virtue of having an aunt and uncle in this town, I was here every summer growing up with my cousins and spent a lot of time and made a lot of great memories here. As an adult, when I got to the point after many adventures of wanting to put down roots, I had to make a choice as to where that would be. I chose to come back here because consistently throughout my life, Americus has been a golden thread. I tend to focus on details and also make it a point to leave people out of my compositions. I want these to be things that anybody on their own might discover on any given day if they would basically choose to look up or to look down and not have tunnel vision. Our town is wonderful for this because it's full of details that are popping off in the architecture of all of these buildings if you care to look. I have counted so many gargoyles, so many creature faces in the brickwork and the masonry here downtown that for years I never even noticed until I started seeking them out. My space is unique. I like to think of it as a reflection of my own life, my own attitudes and ideas. People have said that it feels like a hug to walk into this space. People who know me say that they feel like they're looking at me when they look around the room at stuff on the walls. We should not define ourselves by the things that are sold to us. There are people making money off of all kinds of things, convincing you need things you don't. I just know that at the end of the day, when it comes to the end of our lives, I'm not going to be laying in a bed pointing around the room at all the wonderful things I've managed to acquire with my vast wealth. I want a big book of memories. That's where it's at. Take the money you have, spend it on making memories with people you care about, people that you love, and then you can fill your house with a whole bunch of things that just remind you of all of those people and all of those pleasantries. And it's quite a balm against a world outside your door that can sometimes be pretty hard to deal with. Ultimately, my goals here are to strengthen the community and try and figure out a way to do that through my art. And what I've figured out so far over the course of a year of consistently taking pictures that focus on the community that people appreciate simply for their dreamlike quality are the reminder they present of the beauty that is around them every day. Is over time, I've noticed that people are talking to me about these photos. I'm also getting messages, private messages from people who say that I've reminded them of how much they love this town. This is all very good. In the long run, by the time I'm older and maybe perhaps at a point where I just can't get out and take pictures anymore, I would like to have established some kind of legacy that seems like a love letter to a town that's been very special to me. I talk to a lot of people who, even though I encourage them to make art, say, I'm not an artist, I can't do that. Well, I would like to tell you, as a person who spent most of his life believing that very same thing, it's a matter of finding how you get that thing inside of you, be it a feeling or an emotion you're dealing with, onto a page, into a photo, into a song. Whatever it is, you've got it in you. You just have to take the time to do it. And also, more importantly, other people need to see whatever it is. Because it's those moments when you connect with somebody else's deeper thing that they've put in front of you, very bravely I might add, that you realize we're all connected. There's a thing that happens oftentimes when you're pursuing making art or figuring out your voice in this way, and it's called imposter syndrome. You feel like, who am I to be making this? Who am I to be thinking people should care what it is I'm putting out there? And I would say the best way to deal with that is to reframe it in your head. An imposter to what? This is your thing. This is your thing. And it doesn't matter if anybody connects with it or not. At the end of the day, it's doing a service to you. And if you keep integrity in your pursuit and stay true to what it is you're trying to get out there, I promise you, you'll get better at it, and it's going to connect with others if you give it time.